Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai. Today we're going to begin on a lovely venture of reading the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam Purana, unabridged, at least parts of it. And we'll be trying to read each day, and then on Fridays meeting at 2 o'clock Mountain Time on Zoom for a study group. And at that time, some of the terminology or names that are used in this book, we can talk about them more. Begin with Book 1, Chapter 1. I meditate on the beginningless Brahma Vidya of the nature of all consciousness. May she stimulate our buddhis in very many different directions. Sonaka said, O highly fortunate Sutta, O noble Sutta, you are the best of persons. You are blessed inasmuch as you have thoroughly studied all the auspicious Puranas. O sinless one, you have gone through all the 18 Puranas composed by Vedavyasa. These are endowed with the 5 excellent characteristics and are full of esoteric meanings. The characteristics are to make the mantras reveal to one's own self, to realize, to transfer to others the Shakti, the force thereof, to prove the various manifestations of the several effects thereof. O sinless one, it is not that you have read them like a parrot, but you have thoroughly grasped the meaning of them all, as you have learnt them from Vedavyasa himself, the son of Satyavati. Now it is our good merits that you have come at this divine, holy, excellent place, free from any defects of this Kali Yuga age. O Sutta, these munis assembled here are desirous to hear the holy Purana that yields religious merits. So describe this to us with your mind concentrated, O all-knowing Sutta. Live long and be free from the threefold sorrows of existence. O highly fortunate one, narrate to us the Purana equivalent to the Vedas. O Sutta, those persons that do not hear the Puranas are certainly deprived by the Creator, though they have apparently the organ of hearing, of the power of tasting the sweet essence of words, because the organ of hearing is gratified then and then only when it hears the words of the wise men. Just as the organ of taste is satisfied then and then only when it tastes the 6 kinds of foods and flavors, sweet, sour, pungent, bitter, salty, and astringent, this is known to all. The serpents that are void of the organs of hearing are enchanted by the sweet music. Then why should not these persons that have the organs of hearing and are averse to hearing the Puranas be thrown under the category of the deaf? O Sumaya Sutta, hence all these Brahmins, being distressed with the fear of the Kali Yuga, have come here to this special place, eager to hear attentively this Purana, and are staying here with this one object. Time must be spent away anyhow or other. Those that are fools while they are while away their times in sports and other practices, and those that are learned pass away their times in meditating on the sastras and holy scriptures. But these sastras are far too vast and very varied. O Sumya, one of gentle appearance, you have recited these Puranas endowed with 5 characteristics and full of many narratives of these. The 5th Purana, equivalent to the Vedas and with all the good qualities, the Bhagavata, yields dharma and kama, religion and desires, gives liberation to those who desire for emancipation, and is very wonderful. You intonated this before, but ordinarily you did not dwell on this specifically. Now these Brahmanas are eager to hear gladly this divine, auspicious Bhagavata, the best of the Puranas, so kindly describe this in detail. O knower of Dharma, by your faith and devotion to your Guru, you have become sattvic and thus have thoroughly known the Puranas, spoken by Vedavyasa, O omniscient one. Therefore, it is that we have heard many Puranas from your mouth, but we are not satisfied as the Devas are not satisfied with the drinking of the nectar. O Sutta, fie to the nectar with the drinking of the nectar. O Sutta, fie to the nectar, even as the drinking of the nectar is quite useless in giving mukti. But hearing the Bhagavata, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, gives instantaneous mukti from this samsara, or round of birth and death. O Sutta, we perform thousands and thousands of yagyas, fire ceremonies, for drinking of the nectar, amrita, but never we got the full peace. The reason being that yagyas lead to heaven only on the and expire at the period when the period of punyas, good merits, the heavenly life ceases and one is expelled, as it were, from the heavens. Thus incessant sojourns in this wheel of samsara, the constant rounds of birth and death, never end. O knower of everything, thus without jnana, knowledge and wisdom, mukti never comes to men, wandering in the wheel of time, composed of the three gunas. So describe this holy Bhagavata, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, always beloved of those that desire mukti, this secret work yielding liberation, holy and full of all sentiments. Thus ends the first chapter of the first skanda on the questioning about the Purana by Sanyaka and other rishis in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedavyasa. Chapter 2. Sri Sutta said, I am highly fortunate. I consider myself blessed, and I am purified by the high-souled persons, inasmuch as I am questioned by them about the highly meritorious Purana, famous in the Vedas. I will now speak in detail about the Purana, the best of the Agamas, approved by all the Vedas and the secret of all the Sastras. O Brahmins, I bow down to the gentle lotus feet known in the three lokas of the Devi, Bhagavati, praised by Brahma and the other Devas, Vishnu, Mahesh, and others, as their source of liberation. Today I will devoutly describe in detail and in plain language that Purana which is the best of all the Puranas, which gives prosperity and contains all the sentiments that a human being can conceive, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. May that highest primal Sakti, who is known as Vidya in the Vedas, who is omniscient, who controls the innermost of all, and who is skilled in cutting off the knots of the world, who cannot be realized by the wicked and the vicious, but who is visible to the Munis in their meditation. May that Bhagavati Devi give me always the buddhi fit to describe the Purana. I call to my mind the Mother of the worlds, who creates this universe, whose nature is both real, taking gross practical point of view, and unreal, taking a real point of view, preserves and destroys by her rajasic, sattvic, and tamasic qualities, and in the end resolves all these into herself and plays alone in the period of dissolution. At that time, I remember my Mother of all the worlds. It is commonly known that Brahma is the creator of this universe, and the knower of the Vedas and the Puranas says so. But they also say that Brahma is born of the navel lotus of Vishnu. Thus it appears that Brahma cannot create independently. Again, Vishnu, from whose navel lotus Brahma is born, lies in yoga sleep on the bed of Ananta, the 1,000-headed serpent, in the time of Pralaya. So how can we call Bhagavan Vishnu, who rests on the 1,000-headed serpent Ananta, as the creator of the universe? Again, the refuge of Ananta is the water of the ocean of Ekarnava. A liquid cannot rest without a vessel. So I take refuge in the mother of all beings, who resides as the Shakti of all, and thus is the supporter of all. I fly for refuge unto the Devi, who was praised by Brahma while resting on the navel lotus of Vishnu, who is lying fast asleep in Yoga Nidra. O Munis, meditating on that Mahadevi, who creates, preserves, and destroys the universe, who is known as composed of the 3 gunas, and who grants mukti, I now describe the whole of the Purana. Now you all better hear. The Purana, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, is excellent, holy, has 18,000 pure slokas are contained in it. Bhagavan Vedavyasa has divided this Purana into 12 auspicious skandhas, books, and 318 chapters. This is denominated as Purana, which contains the following 5 characteristics. The first, creation of the universe. Second, secondary creation. 3, dynasties. 4th, the Manvantaras. And 5, the description of the Manus and other kings. Mother Shiva is beyond prakritic attributes. She is eternal and ever omnipresent. She is without any change, immutable, unattainable, but by yoga. She is the refuge of the universe. Of her nature is Chaitanya. Mahalakshmi is her sattvic Shakti. Saraswati is her rajasic Shakti. And Mahakali is her tamasic Shakti. These are all a feminine form. The assuming of bodies by these 3 Shaktis for the creation of this universe is denominated as Sarga, creation, by the high-souled persons skilled in the Sastras. And the further resolution of these 3 Shaktis into Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh for the creation, preservation, and destruction of this universe is denominated in this Purana as Pritisarga, secondary creation. The description of the kings of the solar lunar dynasty and the families of Kisapu and others is known as a description of the lineages of the kings and their dynasties. The descriptions of the Swayambhuva and other Manus and their ruling periods is known as Manvantaras. And the description of their descendants is known as the description of the families. Thus, these are the 5 characteristics in the Puranas, O best of Munis. All the Puranas are endowed with these 5 characters. So it is Mahabharata, written also by Vedavyasa, characterized by these 5 things. This is known as the 5th Veda, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Sunaka said, O Sutta, what are those Puranas and how many verses are contained in each? Speak all of these in detail. We, the residents of the Naimisa Vana, are all very eager to hear this. Why we call ourselves all the residents here. You will realize then that no other place exists in the Kali Yuga for hearing the holy discourse on religion. When we were afraid of the Kali Yuga, Brahma gave us a chakra, wheel, and said to all of us, follow this wheel and go after it, and the spot where it will become thin, so as to break and will not roll further, that country is the holy place. Kali Yuga will never be able to enter there. You are all better remain there until the Satya Yuga comes back. Thus, according to the saying of Brahma, we have got orders to stay here. O hearing the words of Brahma, we went out quickly, keeping the wheel going on, our object being to determine which place is best and holiest. When we came here, the wheel became thin and shorn before my eyes, hence this is called Naimisa. It is the most satisfying, sanctifying place. Kali Yuga cannot enter here, hence the Mahatmas, Munis, and Siddhis, terrified by the Kali Yuga, have followed me and resorted to this place. We have performed yagyas with clarified butter, as is offered in oblations to the fire, where no animals are sacrificed. Now we have no other important work to do except to pass our time here until the arrival of the Satya Yuga. O Sutta, we are extremely fortunate in all respects that you have come here. Purify us today by narrating to us the names of the Puranas equivalent to the Vedas. O Sutta, you are also a learned orator. We too are ardent listeners. With no other words to bother our heads, narrate to us today the auspicious holy Srimad Devi Bhagavata Purana. O Sutta, long live you, and no ailings, internal, external, or from the devas torment you. This is our blessing to you. We have heard that in the most sanctifying Purana, narrated by Vedavyasa, all about dharma, wealth, and karma, desires are duly described as well. The acquiring of liberation are also spoken of. O Sutta, our desires are not satisfied the more we hear of this beautiful holy words. Now please describe to us the highly pure Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, where all the leelas, the dramatic acts of the mother of the three worlds, purifying the sins, adorned with all the qualifications, are described as yielding all the desires, like the kalpa tree, the celestial tree yielding all desires. Thus ends the second chapter of the first book on the description of the Purana. In the Mahapuran Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by the Maharishi Vedavyasa.